Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I love drawing. And I draw every day. I've been drawing since I was a kid. And as you know, I'm the creator of Whack Your Boss and Whack Your Ex and Whack Your Computer and Doodieman. And sometimes I just start drawing. And in this case, I decided to try a few different mouths on whoever this is. I settled on this mouth here. I have no idea who he's going to be at this point. No idea what he's doing, why he's doing it, where he is. I'm just doodling, having fun. It's almost like a journal for me to draw. I just start and I let the pen kind of take me on a ride. This guy is happy. He's got his one leg sort of down here, almost like he's sort of standing, but I like drawings to be a little more dynamic, so then I decided to make him walking by having his other leg bent. And since his arm is out front, I make the other arm to the rear here. Sometimes, as I said, just things come out of the tip of the pen. It looked like he was holding something, so then I decided I would draw like a bag, but it looked like a hand, if you noticed there. So I decided to redraw it and get like a gunny sack, sort of the fabric all bunched up, but it still looked too big. It looked like a fan there. So then here I made it smaller, and now I take these nice big shapes. I love it when I can just go zook and just be done with it. There's the bag, nice and loose and fast. And so here's the beginning of a drawing. He's a guy pulling a sack, wearing a pair of pants. I don't know why, but then I start to think Christmas, why not? He's got the sack, give him the cotton sort of a hat, and again, whoosh, just nice quick fast lines to give the denotation that he is moving fast, that there's motion, he's leaving these things behind, he's leaving his bag behind sort of, and he's dragging his hat along and his bag along. And so now we've got something like a Santa. I don't know, he doesn't have a beard. I kind of think a beard would ruin it or distract it. I think you're familiar with a lot of these drawing programs on computer. You have to close these shapes if you want to fill them with color. So in Procreate, I often do that. Sometimes I edit those bits out so you don't have to see the boring parts of me, editing little tiny things and changing them. So I move them around a bit. I realize too that I'm going to probably have some other elements here. So then I add some layers so that each element can be on its own layer, the background and maybe another character. I did fill one or two more of these whole areas, so you'll be able to check that out in a second. I just sort of do a little bit of, the being sure that the ink won't leak out. And then the fun part. I love the way that these colors just fill in, and they're so rich and and they just go to every edge and they're pure. And I just love the way that that Procreate does this. Obviously, you can do it in other programs as well, Animate or Photoshop. But so I've got my hero here. He's running along. He's a Santa. Apparently, he's shirtless. I don't make these choices really, Now this I chose to make these pink only because I didn't want to fill it with white and then find out later that the white was leaking out of one of those little holes. So that's why I made it ultimately pink like that. Again, not a real artistic choice, and again, not having a shirt, not an artistic choice. It's just that's what came out. There's a mistake there, but sometimes mistakes can get interesting, like when that blue became all the blue lines. You never know. Sometimes that can become a whole new idea or a theme when there's a mistake. I like to go with those sometimes. So I've got my hero running here. He's a Santa-ish guy. And I decided, well, the rooftop idea is good. A little tension. Him teetering on the edge of rooftop here. I make this line a little different. I push it back to the left a bit because I like the idea of the icicles hanging off a little bit more. I like that look. Also, I always like the look of the character not touching the ground that he's or she is walking on. I like that little bit of space in there. It always just creates more life and playfulness. So who's on the right? At the time I was drawing this, I didn't know. I thought for a while, I took a break, and then I thought, well, why not somebody handing him his shirt? Now, why? I don't know. This is not a story I intended on making, but he's shirtless, it's cold. So I decided to just sketch a little bit the idea of somebody handing him his shirt. And I like this idea here. That's what they call the gesture, making that back like a nice arc like that. And as I started to draw the legs, I drew a little tail, and then I thought, oh, I know. We can have one of his reindeer helping him out. handing him a shirt. Again, not a real story per se, but like an active moment between two characters, a moment of mystery, a moment of tension. Just having fun here. And I'm just deciding in the moment, real time. Oh, here's the police. That I want this character to maybe have a partner here in crime or in fun. And I draw the deer on a separate page without any other distractions, because sometimes I don't like to think about where he's going or how I'm going to fill him in exactly or fit him in. I just want to draw him fresh with nice big bold lines. And I'm not a real fan of like going and looking exactly how that one creates antlers. I just do it. They may look a little crazy cartoony, which this is a cartoon, so I can do whatever I want, right? You can do whatever you want when you're cartooning. And it feels I got to feel a little bit like it felt like the dog in the Grinch That Stole Christmas, the one with the antlers sort of tied onto his head. And I didn't like this neck. I like it, but not for him. I wanted a skinnier neck, like sort of like a Don Knotts kind of a character. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He was a comedian from the 50s and 60s. And I gave him these classic hooves to be holding the Santa outfit here. But I'm also aware that hooves don't have thumbs and it's not very realistic. But I don't care. It's fun. It's a hoof. Somehow he's doing it. And I love, again, these big, bold lines, just whoosh, 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 dush, 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 and then it's done. There's the cotton. I didn't work on the cotton on the bottom of the clothes there. I just sort of did it. And I've been drawing for decades, so obviously there's an element of this, I guess, that makes it look easy. I've drawn hundreds of these kinds of legs before on different animals. They have sort of like a 3-boned system. I don't know what it's called exactly, but that little bump on the back there that shows that like dogs and cats have that as well. So now I paste them in. I start moving them around a little bit, get the sizing right. Again, there's no real plan here. There's no real science. It's not like this is done for a client. This is just for the fun of it. And for you, I just want you to see my process. So then, again, the fun part, or one of the fun parts, adding some of the colors. And kept his body a little darker than his antlers. And we're almost done here. Just a bit of fun, a bit of a fun drawing. If you can, remember to click subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos now. So if you subscribe and even click that bell, I'll send you notifications when the next cartoon is up. And so then I've got these two characters here now. Oh, I love it when that kind of thing happens. Because sometimes you could think to yourself, well, maybe they're in hell. And then the whole scenario of the drawing can change direction just by a simple mistake of having the background turn fire engine red. So here they are together, but he's not looking. Oh, yeah. Here's what I wanted to do, too. I wanted to make it more tension so that they're sort of on the edge of the rooftops as opposed to where they're standing initially. So I pretty much put them now on the edge. It just adds a little more drama, that there's a possibility they could fall, but there's risk going on in this story. One of them is helping the other. He's reaching out. He's meeting him on the edge. And there's more distance between them now because I made the ledges shorter. Again, just subtle things about story, just how to separate the characters more. And so he's looking at us, our hero, our Santa is looking at us. That's the way we initially drew him. And then I began to think to myself, well, now that we've sort of got a complete drawing, I'd rather have them making eye contact, that there's a little more connection between the characters. So I can go ahead and change that and just add the eyeballs in. And I can go ahead and try to line up the pupils exactly, but it's a pretty good match here that he's looking off to our reindeer hero. I could have made his nose red like Rudolph, but that's a little cliche. I just wanted them helping him out. Animals helping humans, the theme for the drawing. Or don't lose your shirt this Christmas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say.